Why are men told to control their urges while women go out and have a hoe phase?
You're totally right. We are encouraged to have a street phase. We're encouraged to have, a hoe phase. Men, if they try to have a hoe phase, they're just slut bags and frat boys, and that's not fair. I agree. I don't know why it is.
I do, because in this culture, holding women to any standards is considered sexist and patriarchal. It used to be common sense that women who sleep around a lot obviously have low self-esteem. They have no capacity for loyalty or pair bonding, and they're best avoided for marriage. But now we have a whole generation of modern women who are convinced that abandoning femininity and acting as slutty as the fuckboy men that they claim to hate is somehow empowering. But despite this propaganda, we all know the truth.
I feel like a girl who has a high body count has no self-respect for herself, so just let anybody hit it. But streets.
Every man knows this intuitively, that a woman who lets just any guy between her legs is a woman who has no standards. She is without discernment and frankly without common sense. It's one of the reasons why a woman with a high body count is such a red flag. But in my consultations, I have begun to notice something interesting, which is that lots of men have the capacity to notice red flags, but very few actually have the courage to act upon them. I've heard so many stories. She cheated on me, she dumped me, she divorced me. But when I probe a little bit deeper, it was clear that all of the red flags that ruined their relationship were present from the beginning. Yeah, she slept around a lot. She drank a lot of alcohol. She had really terrible friends. She has lots of debt. Her ex-boyfriend was a scumbag. She could never admit that she was wrong. She's got all these red flags, and yet these guys will go into a relationship with her anyway. Why? Well, it's because they're thinking with their dick, or they're thinking with their heart, and what they should be doing is thinking with their head. Let's talk about your dick first.
2 fun facts about me. Yes, I have herpes, and yes, I'm fucking hot.
Sometimes guys know that a woman is not right for them. They have different values, there's a personality clash, there's these huge red flags, but she's really hot, or he's just really horny. But let me tell you that you should not base a decision about whether to enter a long-term relationship with a woman based on your biology. You know the expression, don't go to the supermarket when you're really hungry because you're going to buy way more than you need? Likewise, do not make decisions about your monogamous future when you're really horny because you're likely to make really dumb decisions. Inside your biology, you have a strong instinct to reproduce, to create children. That's why you're thinking about sex all the time. Your instincts have convinced you that if you're able to have sex with lots of women, then you're going to be happy, but that's simply not true. To put it bluntly, your dick doesn't really care if you're happy or not. It's willing to lie to you, but that's just because it really wants to get laid. And the world is filled with men in miserable marriages, guys who wifed up a woman who was wrong for them. Heaps of red flags, but he was really horny and he thought that marriage was an acceptable price for sex, but it wasn't. 10 years later, she's criticizing him constantly. They're arguing all the time. She undermines him in front of the kids and just all round makes him miserable. And the ultimate salt in the wound is she doesn't even fuck him anymore. All the red flags were visible, all the signs were there, but he chose to ignore them because he was horny. You come to me for advice. Should I marry this girl? Should I be in a long-term relationship with this girl? Let me tell you, I do not care if she's hot. I do not care if you are horny. You do not make important decisions with your dick. Men, say it with me. Let's all pledge together. I will not make important decisions with my dick. And while we're at it, do not make important decisions with your heart either. Even if it feels right in the moment, it could end in total disaster.
So I got married at 21. I'm now 39. That means I've been married for 18 years. And both my partner and I agree that if we had to do this over again, he was also 21 when we got married, we would not. So that's what it's like being married young. Just knowing you married a dear human being who you weren't necessarily a great fit for, and you're together because you love raising your kids and you've also worked hard to create a lot of life together. It's a lot like life on planet Earth. There's a lot of beauty and a lot of devastation. I'm not sure any of us are getting out of that here on the planet. I will say when I look around, I don't see anyone getting married young that's not trying to run away from some sort of trauma or tied into some religious group. Your brain's not fully formed till you're 25. I would wait till then, at least.
Look, I don't know if you should wait until you're 25. Everybody matures and gets clarity over their values at different times. I was 22 when I met Emily, she was 20, and we've been together 15 years. But there's something to her point about people getting together too young because they're running from something. They're trying to escape some trauma. Often people mistakenly think that what they're feeling inside their heart is love, but more often than not, it's not love, it's codependence. Straight up, love at first sight is a moronic concept. How the fuck can you love somebody that you don't even know yet? If you have a strong attraction to somebody that you don't even know yet, that is 100% proof that you are projecting a fantasy onto them. Your delusion is that they are the missing puzzle piece that is the perfect shape of your internal pain, and they have arrived in your life in order to make you complete. Textbook codependence. And the salt in the wound for this one is that when you have a lot of trauma and internalized pain, you're not actually attracted to healthy, well-adjusted people. You're not excited by a genuinely functional person with good boundaries and a healthy self-esteem. What gets you excited is somebody with a complementary dysfunction. Say your mother never showed you much affection growing up. Well, then you're attracted to the really needy woman who shows you too much affection. Or you never had many friends at school and you feel socially isolated. Well, now you're attracted to the party girl who seems to have hundreds of friends. Many of them men who are trying to sleep with her. You have an anxious attachment style and you're attracted to someone who has an avoidant attachment style, and on and on and on. So when you meet somebody who mirrors your dysfunction, you have a perfect match for codependence. It will feel right. It will feel exciting. And so many people just follow that feeling.
I've dated a lot of people. I've dated a series of different types of people, but I have dated a large amount of fuckboys or narcissists.
Okay, yeah.
And doing my research of all the people I've dated, I'm like, okay, Jordan, all the guys, and I challenge all our listeners to think this too, all the people who gave me that really exciting spark or that I need to see them right now were guys who treated me like crap.
It seems obvious when you see it in women, right? Like she's following that spark, that excitement from a man who treats her like crap. And you think, this makes no logical sense. Why would women date these horrible men? It's a disaster. They're not using logic. They're just following their heart, their feelings. You can see it in women, but can you see it in yourself? Do you know what your psychological weak points are? Where you would be vulnerable to start ignoring the red flags. Yes, she dresses like a hooker, and yes, she says that she hates children, but I don't know, there's something about her. When I look at her, I just feel something. I'm just drawn to her. I think it's love. It's not. Love is not something that you find, it's something that you grow. You want to know if she's the right girl with you, you do not think with your dick, you do not think with your heart, you think with your head. Don't ask the question, do I want to sleep with her? Of course you do. You're a man, you want to sleep with everything. That doesn't tell you anything. Don't ask the question, how does she make me feel? That's irrelevant. Emotions are not a tool of cognition. Instead, ask yourself, does this make sense? Is she kind? Is she feminine? Do we have the same values? Does she want children? What kind of a mother would she be? Do we have the same interests? Do we have the same plans for the future? Does she like me? Does she respect me? Does she have good conflict resolution skills? Trust me, if you make a decision that logically makes good sense, the positive feelings will follow. Love is not something that you find. Love is something that you grow. When I first met Emily, our dating was not this process of crazy whirlwind excitement. Like I'd finally found the answer to all my problems and I needed to cling to her at all times. I liked her. Physically, she was exactly my type, which helped. But emotionally, there were no strong feelings to begin with. But as we were dating, the feelings got progressively stronger. We talked, we shared, we discovered that we have a similar way of viewing the world. We had the same goals in life, which then caused me to commit more deeply. We established a very solid foundation of similarities and the emotions followed. And then I began to appreciate all the ways that she was different to me, her femininity, her creativity. And then the feelings got stronger and stronger, and that's how it is supposed to be. Do not choose a woman just because she makes your dick hard or because she makes your heart wobble. Choose a woman who makes sense. Because when you are thinking logically, not only are you going to be able to spot red flags, but you're going to have the common sense to act on them.
And he took me in, he put me into nursing school, he got my hair, nails, everything done. So he up here on this level, I'm down here on this level. You get where I'm going? He got me up here with him because he was making good money. But then he ended up losing his job 2 years ago. Lost his job and now he broke. What did I do? broke up with him and got on because I'm not finna take care of no grown man. I'm not doing that.
You do not need to be this man. Your life does not need to be a cautionary tale. Here's the rule. If you see a red flag, don't ignore it. Don't explain it away. She has no ambition, career plan, values, any idea what she wants to do with her life. That is a red flag. And the fact that you want to have sex with her does not turn that flag green. The fact that she makes your heart filled with these exciting feelings does not turn that flag green. Move on. Find a woman that you're more compatible with, a woman who makes sense. That's the foundation that you need, and the feelings and the sex will follow. Now, lots of men are going to dislike this video because they're thinking, how does this make any sense? How am I meant to have a relationship with a woman unless I really want to have sex with her? I'm physically attracted to her. How am I meant to have a relationship with a woman unless she gives me those really powerful heart feelings? I'm not some robot. Like, love and relationships isn't just some algorithm that like technically makes sense. I get that. And let me reassure you that you should absolutely want to have sex with her and she should generate feelings of love. What I'm saying is that those things should come naturally later as the result of getting closer to her. They shouldn't be the foundation of your relationship. Common sense, logical thought, that needs to be the foundation. It's a complex topic, how to balance this exactly, and a lot of men want to know, well, what exactly should I feel when I'm in a long-term relationship? What are the normal emotions? I explain all of that in the full-length version of this video, which is available on Patreon. What tends to happen is here on YouTube, I have the shorter, flashier parts of my message. The more in-depth, nuanced stuff for the guys who really take this stuff seriously and want to use it for self-improvement, that goes over to Patreon. So if you want access to that and my other full-length videos, come over to Patreon.